Thompson here, speaking to you today from in front of the entrance to the Union, and the Union is the subject of our show. We'll find out what it does and how it benefits our community. About how the Union helps local students. We'll hear our recent presentation given at RARIA, which is the Richland Area Retired Educators, and the speakers are Andrew Troxel and Jessica Huntemer.
District superintendent in the state of Virginia before he retired, and then he started an educational consultant, mentoring and tutoring foundation, and became a published author on the subject. He has experienced what he writes about. Our program speakers today are here to tell us about the Union, started in 2021 by a group of teachers wanting to offer a supplemental program to school-age youth within our area. Many of you may have attended the Union's open house in late spring, and I had a private tutor of the Union, the new home in the lower level of our historic city auditorium earlier this month. I was very impressed by what I saw, considering they made a whole lot of decorative changes to the downstairs of that auditorium, and it desperately needed it, so it was very nice. Today we hear the down there portion from Board President Jessica Huntemer and Board Vice President Secretary Andrew Troxel. I am very grateful to have both of them here today. Each year, when I tally our volunteer hours for the final report to our state office, we are huge on hours, volunteer hours to organizations, but not as much when it comes to the hours in the category serving youth. Here's our rare opportunity to push up those youth volunteer numbers. And Andrew, as you know, already has a couple of claims to his fame with us. You heard that he was our 2024 second place challenge award recipient of $250. And we're the generation, or excuse me, we are the chapter that basically kind of helped get that word out. And next, Andy is also the Richland Center High School head football coach. And considering being a high school football coach seems to be an excellent resume builder at the moment for the second highest office in this country, Andy, I want you to remember the little people like Raria that helped you plot your future career, wherever it may take you. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our program presenters, Jessica Huntemer and Andrew Troxel. If you want to walk around, just take the mic right off.
Oh, thank you so much. First, I want to take a second before we get started and thank Mr. Murphy and all of you guys for coming in today. We're super excited to tell you a couple of things about what we've got going on down at the Union. I am Jessie Huntemer. I didn't go to school here. I didn't grow up here, but I have come to know and love your education system here. I love the small rural atmosphere. I love the one-on-one opportunities with the children, the smaller class sizes. And then from there, I have had the opportunity to join the Union. I'm the current president, and then Mr. Troxel here is our vice president. He's going to give you a real quick rundown on how it got started, where the concept came from, and then I'll come back to give you an update on where we are right now.
All right, I'm Andrew Troxel. I was a 2003 graduate from Richland Center High School. I was a student in many of your classes. Thank you for that. I mean, education played a pivotal role in my journey. Now that I'm on this side of the fence, I don't know if I need to say thank you or I'm sorry. All right, so I know it was a handful growing up. But I knew in 8th grade that education was my pathway. And I never strayed from that path as I kind of went through and went to lacrosse. And then that journey took me to Iowa. And so for about 9 years or so, I taught in Southeast Iowa, specifically the Fort Madison School District. And while there, I got to do a lot of really cool things with a lot of really cool community members who were very passionate about education. And one of those was a gentleman from Sri Lanka. His name is Kumar Wickramasinghe. And he was an individual that came to the United States in the 80s or so. And the running joke with him is, you know, he did 4 years at a 2-year community college in Southeast Iowa. Took every class that was on the books. And so he felt that he wanted to give back to the community in that area. And so in 2014 or 15 or so, came with this idea. And down there he calls it the test kitchen, where essentially it's an after-school location for kids to come and have a space. He feeds them, right, but there's some learning that happens along the way in STEM and English and social studies and a lot of other areas as well. And so myself and other colleagues were really kind of on the ground floor helping to build that. So when my time there was done and I was coming back to Wisconsin, this was always on the back of my mind. Like, why can't we do this here? You know? And so in 2019, we started to have conversations, get a little serious about what this place could look like. All right. And so I think we put in our paperwork with the state. We were going to call it the Union, all right, to bring people together, and that's a core part of what our mission is taking people that are passionate about a variety of subjects and really partnering with the next generation. And then COVID hit. And so 2020, 2021, it was really hard to kind of get that off the ground. You know, so it was a little bit of a setback, but now we feel like we have momentum, we have a foundation, we have a beautiful facility. And so certainly Jesse will talk a little bit more about kind of what our hope is for this organization as you partner with us. But we're really excited. Kids are starting to know what this is, what it can do, and there's energy behind that as well. So we are now fully operational. I think we've had a lot more programming this past spring. Kids are taking advantage of that and had a lot of success, whether that be with ACT prep or AP Advanced Placement Review or just general programming. You know, so we're really excited for the future of the union and really excited to tell you more about our story and look forward to a partnership with you as well.
Okay, as you heard, the Union is located in the basement of the city auditorium here in town. We have spaces for the younger kids, everything from Play-Doh, tangibles, little tangrams and magnetic strips. And then we have spaces for the older kids, more of a conference style, individual booths, one-on-one areas. We have a VR set that the kids really enjoy. We've got projectors, TVs, music, and it's supposed to be, the goal of it is for the students to be able to come in the afternoon. They grab a snack, a fully stocked refrigerator, all the Gatorades, juice boxes, fruit, fresh fruits, yogurts, string cheeses that the kids could possibly want. And then they can come in and they can find their spot for the afternoon and they can find their teacher that they're trying to work with. The goal would be to have a different subject there, a couple different subjects every day or by schedule. For example, we have Mr. Madden. I don't know if you guys know Mr. John Madden out of Viroqua. He's been working with us doing a lot of math, calculus, algebra, trigonometry for some of those kids. We brought in all of the AP teachers from last year, including Mr. Troxel, got to teach some review for the AP prep, AP testing, which as you guys all know much more about it than I do. That can really get your kids started on a good pathway for college, and it also helps the parents save a little bit of money on some of those college credits, which in turn gets all of us set up together, great partnership. We have every person in the world, I believe, has something that they have to offer, something that they can teach, right? Whether that's something in a core class, it might be something in an automotive class, it might be financial literacy, it might be art, and the goal for the union is to bring all of those educators together with all of the students that might want to learn. Now, when I say students, that doesn't have to be children. That can be anybody from kindergarten up to our age. There might be something that you might be able to teach me that I would love to learn. I might wanna learn how to do, we have a macrame lady that comes in and does macrame. We have paint classes. We have, everything from, like I said, financial literacy, AP science. We have a lady that comes in and does, the kids are trying to write their own books and get them edited and published and have their own kids' books that they can show their family, you know, Christmas projects. And then what we're really hoping is that we can completely staff it from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. as a constant, and then be able to add in some extra nights and weekends. And so what we're hoping today is that we're gonna inspire you enough that when we leave here, I have all these forms you guys can fill out. You can let us know what days you wanna work and what it is that you think you can bring to the table that our children are gonna wanna learn from you. And then we can go ahead and set up classes, individual, if that's the way you prefer it. The students usually will reach out to us through either a teacher or through their guidance counselor, or the principals at all 3 buildings know how to get a hold of us, and they'll let us know, hey, Jesse, I've got a kid that's really struggling in Spanish class. How can you get them hooked up with a Spanish teacher? And then we'll get the student and teacher matched up, one-on-one, come in, get their snack in the afternoon, get to work right on their project, and then it's up to the student and the teacher how long they decide they want to work on it. It might be a 1 day, 1 afternoon, it could be a weekly thing, it could be a monthly, it could be the entire school year. However long it takes for you and this student to make that student feel like they're going to leave the building better than they came in. Our overall goal for all of the children and adults in our community is we want to make sure that there's nothing that's blocking these children from being their best selves. There's always something that stops them. It might be they don't have the education, it might be their family doesn't have the time, they don't have the resources. That's where we come in, and we want to make sure that every kid has their food, their hygiene is completely taken care of, our closet has everything, shampoos, conditioners, socks, underwear, soaps, brushes, everything that the kids could possibly want, and then come in and work with the teacher. So that way when they leave, they're fed, they're clothed, they're clean, and they're educated. And then they can go out into the world and make the difference that we think that every child has the opportunity to make, right? And so, if there's anything on here that you guys need questions answered, I'd love to go ahead and help you guys figure out where we can all fit in and how we can all work together to make our communities, and in a perfect world, all communities of all children be able to go out into the world and be their very best selves. That's our overall goal here.
Wonderful. The only thing that I would add to that is that this is open to any student in any district. What we found initially with our rollout in Southeast Iowa, it was localized to our home district, but then kids from 45 minutes to an hour were coming for a lot of programming. And so that's our vision, is that we start maybe here locally with local districts, but we want to expand, we want to grow, and we'd love to see this concept grow beyond Richland County as well. But we want this to be kind of the hearth and the catalyst for change for this next generation. So with that, I think if you guys have any questions, we would love to field those for you.
How are you funded?
We are funded entirely from donations and grants. And right now it's more donation based than anything else. I know Mick Cosgrove and the Auditorium Foundation, they've been very gracious to host us in there at this point. But it's a continual effort, right, to make sure that we have the funds to keep the doors open. Part of that is getting the word out, letting people know here we are, this is what we do. And that's an area we really want to explore more. Primarily we market through social media, but some radio, but we also need to kind of go through print as well.
Let's say I have an idea for something I'd like to see if it's a good fit. What is the procedure for taking that forward?
Okay, so on this form here, you guys have my information, my email address. You can email me and you would say, hey Jesse, I'm looking to teach a math class and I'm available on Tuesdays at 4 to 5 p.m. I'd go ahead and bring you in after we do a background check on every adult that comes into the building. We would like to make sure that I'm not a huge fan of the word safe space, but we are a safe space for all of the children and the adults in the community. No matter what you look like, no matter how you sound, no matter what you go home to at night, when you're in our building, you're safe. And probably loved. I mean, I really enjoy all the kids. I'm not an educator, like I said, but that's the one part I'm really jealous of you guys, that you got to hang out with all these kids for so long. But back to your question, you would email me, I would ask you, hey, what are you looking for? And then I'd bring you in on your terms, your schedule. We'd start doing some social media blasts, letting them know, hey, on Monday nights we have this person doing this class. Your first class is usually going to be slower, it might only be 1 or 2. If it's something like an art class, then you might say you want to have up to 10 kids, and we'll go until you say that you don't want any more. If you say you only want 1 or 2, and you're going to come in and you're going to do calculus tutoring on Fridays, then we'll put it out, we'll let you know as soon as we get 1 or 2 set up, and we'll bring it in. Everything is a process. Being so new, we do not have a perfected system. Right now, we're working on a as-need basis, what we can do for the student that asks, what we can offer from the teacher that offers. In a perfect world, it would be completely scheduled. We'd have these awesome Google Sheets where you sign up all the time, and it was completely full, running calendar all the time. At this exact second, to be completely honest, we don't have that. We're still early, like Mr. Troxel said, but from where we started to where we are right now, I would love to be able to show you guys the space. I kind of wish that we could have done that there today. I think that you guys would be really thrilled with it. It's really bright and fun, and there's room for all of the kids to either be able to work together, to be able to work apart. It's fun to watch some of the older kids that are working on, you know, something crazy like calc or trig or US history, and then be able to, oh, this kid over here is struggling on something simple, basic addition, subtraction, and see the football quarterback is all of a sudden hanging out with the 3rd grader with the big googly glasses, and they're having the best time you've ever seen. That's what makes my heart melt, which is what makes me so passionate about this project. I'm so lucky to be able to have been brought in with some of who I consider the best educators in the area, and they let me party plan for them. So anything that we can do, that you can do, email is on here, contact me anytime, I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. We'll get you set up, we'll get social media blasted, we'll get it on the radio, we'll get it in WRCO, and we will make sure that everybody in this room has the opportunity to teach whatever they feel that they can specialize in. Anybody else have any questions? Mr. Murphy?
Can you talk about your willingness to take, like, if somebody needs to clean out their arts and crafts supplies, let's say we've all got closets of little sample things of toothpaste and toothbrushes from every time we go to the dentist, and the hygiene products.
I have never turned down a donation of any sort. If it's something that I do not see in the future that I could possibly use, there's the food pantry, there's Passages, there's Ada James. It doesn't go to waste. No matter what you bring out of your closet, your scarves, your art projects, your ping pong tables, your pool tables, your couches, we will put them to use. And the kids will put them to use. You got stand-up video games, you've got some nice couches that you think that maybe nobody else would use. Somebody will use it and somebody will love it, and if I can't get somebody to love it, I will move it on to somebody who will for sure.
And I'm going to help the cause for the RARIA members. If you clean out a craft and art supply cupboard you may have, you can bring that to the December event. Now, you better mark it, that that's supposed to go to the union, because remember, that's our school supplies collection time. So I may mistake it that you're donating that to the school supply collection, and you're not. So you better mark that. If you clean out your closet of all those little sampley, hygiene products, you don't have to mark that. That's not school supplies. I would know that's going to the union. And you just bring it in December, and I'll be more than happy to get it down to the union for you. And I'll use Louise as an example. She cleaned out her cupboard, and I took down 2 boxes of arts and crafts supplies.
Which has been put away, and it's already being put to good use.
There you are.
Yep, I showed up one morning, and right in front of the door was a couple of boxes for Mr. Murphy, art projects and stuff. If there's something that you loved when you were teaching, if there was decorations you loved, a cabinet that was the best cabinet you ever had for all of your supplies, your favorite desk that you, let me know, at least so I can look for that. Otherwise, if you still have it around your house, I would gladly take any of that. If we can't use it, there are still 150 teachers in this district that would probably take that also.
Any other questions? Well, I just want to say thank you very much because you are doing an impressive job down there. And I want to give each of you this gift.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. Now, how do they sign up?
So Mr. Troxel is handing out some forms right now if you would like to. You can go ahead and put your name, your information, contact information, so I can go ahead and get a hold of you. Let me know on there something that you want to teach, something you can teach, some hours you want to be available. Sometimes it doesn't even need to be a teacher. Sometimes it just needs to be a person in the building so the children can come in and can use the hygiene closet. They can get into the refrigerator. They can get their school supplies, which we have all of the school supplies, binders, notebooks, pens, papers, highlighters, all of the stuff that you need every year. So just to even have a person in there hanging out on your laptop doing your work, just so that we can have the doors open so those kids can come in and use the resources that we've collected for them would be amazing.
Great.
Can I ask one more thing? Is that all right?
You go right ahead.
You know, I think the biggest thing we're looking for right now, and in addition to some of those requests, is just you, right, your expertise. There's a lot of kids that come from households where stability is not normal, right? We want that to be a really big place where that's presented. You know, right now we're starting to see separation in secondary level with kids that are struggling, right? We want to be able to, you know, get in front of that and provide the resources that are necessary. You know, in the winter it's usually really tough too. You know, kids that have access to the resources they need, needed homes, needed facilities, things like that. So it's just talk about a safe space for kids to be kids, but also to meet those basic needs. So we can build around your expertise, your passion for education in any capacity. So even if you're like, hey, I can do this really well, we'll work with that, we'll use that, you know. So it's our hope that really this is a partnership for the foreseeable future.
Now, if they want to take the form home, think about it, they can mail it.
They
to
sure
you
can.
With the addresses on the
Sure can, definitely.
flyer thing. Okay. Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, really appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you'll come back next week and every week to see what's new around Richland Center.